Welcome back to Bitcoin Advisors. My name is Chris and I'm bringing this video to you from Westlake Village, California, where it's bright and sunny and it's already really hot outside. And I do have a lot to talk about today, end of the month, the bi-monthly, the quarterly, and the bi-yearly. So Bitcoin dominance is ticking up here. Bitcoin dominance is, it hit our target up here at about 71 and we're coming down slightly, but that's on the quarterly. Let's take a look at the daily. More importantly, we're getting higher lows and higher highs on the daily. That's what I wanted to look at, and I would expect that trend to continue. And now, what are we looking for? This to head up probably around 51% over time. And we'll expect that trend to continue as long as until it doesn't anymore. Funding rates are at about parity, which is neutral. We got the fear and greed index coming in here at a 28 as Bitcoin did close a rather girthy green candle here yesterday above 35,000. However, people are still pretty fearful, but more importantly, everything hinges around tonight's closure. That's going to help solidify a lot of my biases for the next quarter, whether we have put in the macro low or perhaps another lower high and heading to make some new low lows. So if I wanted to look at this blindly and say whether or not 29,000 was the macro low, I'm just going to pull up the monthly here. And this is the 9 exponential moving average. And on a monthly time frame, we can see this has gotten all the macro lows when we've been trading above it. Things are more or less good. Now, if we do close below, we're talking mostly bad. Things start to break down over time, and you can back test this and see, we break below, goes down over time, breaks below, goes down. That's the last 2 times, and you can go back a little further and test it. So above is good, below is bad. So we got to close somewhere here above 36,662. If we close below, I will have a general downside bias and we'll be looking to be a seller on any rally. The other thing to keep an eye on is the accumulation distribution indicator, which we have here, and what you'll notice if you go back to May, we did increase the curvature on the slope of this indicator. If we ever get a negative slope here, again, I'll look at this at, coming into next month. If this goes negative, this will be redistribution. Doesn't mean Bitcoin, can't rally back up to 45, 50,000, but I'd be looking to be a seller on any rally. If this was to take a negative slope, again, this is bad, and this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. All the, everything else, yeah. So now let's look at the quarterly and the bi-yearly. The quarterly, which is here, we're got the topside Bollinger Band coming in at 39,300. Doesn't look like we're going to get it in the next couple of hours, but never say never. So this one would need to pop back up over 39,300. Now, that doesn't mean it's a death sentence in itself to close below here, but would make things easier to justify general continuation phase of the market. And the bi-yearly, it looks real bad, so we're not going to look at that. We'll just forget about that. So what's the first thing I'm looking for to show a macro low? The first thing, if we go back to our Coinbase chart, throw on a daily, the first thing I'm going to be looking for is a blue buy signal on the hash ribbons, which the last one we got was back here. These things are continuing to spread apart. Looks like we're not getting a blue buy signal anytime. So is a macro low in? No. That no blue buy signal on the hash ribbons means no macro low in. What else would I be looking for? Is a higher low on the daily, and we have not gotten that yet. And lastly, our volatility indicator, which is the BBWP, that's back over here. Oh, I'll put it back on our secondary chart and just add it. Let's see if I can add it and show you guys how to do that. Boom. I added it twice. Let's get rid of one of them. So on the daily, what we're looking for in the BBWP is for it to come down into the single digits, into denoting several of our last macro lows here, here, and here. So that would generally be good. So we're getting a negative slope. That's good, but not quite there yet. So this is still a waiting game, and there is really no rush to get into position right now. That's the picture I'm trying to paint right now. We have not solidified this as a macro low. And while I do think Bitcoin tries for, another upside move, I don't think you need to rush into it until all three of these conditions are met. That's a blue buy signal on the hash ribbons, a higher low on the daily, and the BBWP. Got to get in the single digits. So we did hit our 36,500 target, which was right here. Excuse me, on a 4 hour. Was right here at 36,500. We look for a short-term pullback down to 35,000. We overshot that, it looks, by quite many bucks here, down to 34,200 in change, call it. And so really, that's what I was going to get to my next point here, is that where's my line in the sand if we're going to keep this rally going, or is the thing going to just keel over and head back down to the low side of the range and probably new lows? So my line in the sand is right here at 34,000. Did I give us a little more wiggle room? Should I move that up to 34,150? I would say that's the line in the sand right there. A 4 hour or a 2 hour closure below, call it 34,200, a break below that, and I think we'll probably see prices head back down to 32,300, small bounce from there. Got that marked off right here, and then probably continuation to some probably new lows. But so that's my line in the sand, 34,200, and right now, I would give Bitcoin a chance. However, if it does break down below 34,200, that would negate our theory that Bitcoin is heading back up to the top side of the range here, which we can see on the daily. We're shooting for this market 39,400. If Bitcoin breaks below that point, then that would negate that, and that would no longer be in play. But as long as we're above 34,200, that's good news. Now, what would make me look for some real downside to move back down to 20,000 over time? The same levels I said earlier this week. What I'd be looking for on a 4 hour would be a closure below 30,300. That would be somewhere, call it right here, 30,300. A daily, I'd be looking for a closure somewhere below 31,000, which is coming in right there. And then on a weekly, which will be closing Sunday night. And I hope you all have a happy 4th of July out there. Have some fun, watch some fireworks, enjoy your family. 32,100 is what I'd be looking at a weekly for some more continuation to the downside. But I would say Bitcoin, if we can keep closing dailies above 35,000, which we're pretty darn close, at least that gives the bulls the hopes for a rally to the top side of the range around 40,000. But if we do, if we do go into the deeper 40,000s, then I would expect, if we don't have all three signals lining up for a macro low, that we are putting in a bull trap. So do I think, Bitcoin is, am I bearish? No, I would say I'm short-term, medium-term bullish, although it doesn't really seem like it right now. And another thing you can take a look at on the daily, we had the daily MACD cross to the upside. I want to see this get above a 0 read for a real rally. So I would expect a lot of action in the market as the quarterly close tends to have asset managers rebalance their portfolios, and we have a tremendous amount of money in the stock market and in the bond market. And I know those guys are all keeping their eyes on Bitcoin. And really, you do see every major pivot on the market is around the quarterly close. So the last pivot was here in April. We broke down there. Before that was January. We broke way up, right? So that would have been actually right here. And then quarter before that, October, another massive pivot on the market. So that does, and one last thing I did want to check out here is traditional markets. And traditional markets here today are, NASDAQ is just slamming away here. Going to be creating new all-time highs this week. And I would say that, I'm still expecting the NASDAQ to head up somewhere around 15,000. If we just do a little Fibonacci retracement here, and that, next target at the 1618 at 14,810. That, I think we still got a little more time in the market, but again, I'm not a stockbroker, I'm not a financial advisor, but just looking at some basic technical analysis, still expecting this somewhere to head to some, head around 15,000, a parabolic blow off top in the making. If you look at this thing on a linear scale, look at this thing. This is the stock market since 2008. What happened then? QE 1, 2, and 3, they printed $3 trillion, injected it into the market. What did they do recently? $13 trillion, injected that into the market. That is a lot of paper money. So what do I think happens? 15,000. Do I think it goes up a bit more? I don't know. But then at some point, we're going to get a correction to the tune of 15 to 20%. But then guess what? It probably goes on for more. Just a thought. When they print all that money, it's got to go somewhere. It's going to go into stocks. Probably going to go back. Some of it's going to go into Bitcoin. So I do think stock market making new all-time highs like this does bode well for Bitcoin. It is a point for the bulls. And that's all the time I got for today. We've got how many hours left? How many minutes left until these quarterly closures come? So 2 hours, 44 minutes, and 33 seconds. I'll see you guys back next time. Have a blessed day.